And we are recording.
All right. When last we left off, the wolf pack, having made their way to the elven capital, Elvenon, and begun some intrigues there, and meeting a new friend in the wizard Drost, made their way up to a arcane facility once owned by Imrian, an elven entrepreneur working mostly with the Empire. But the facility brand new arcane facility he had built had gone dark, and you were up there to investigate and see what was going on, as well as eventually pursue some leads, both in the city and outside of the city, after learning some information about the druids, and in particular one druid who was very heavily wanted by the Empire for treason. You managed to make your way into the facility, bypassing some of the key codes and fighting off multiple iterations of these weird soulless creatures, uh, before eventually confronting some kind of flesh abomination that, after a very, very quick fight, fell, but not entirely, as it retreated deeper into the facility, where you eventually confronted it and had to fight off the hunger that it inflicted on you with every attack. After some very quick thinking and figuring out that this thing was tied to the arcane engines of this facility, you managed to destroy them all, causing enough feedback and eventually destroying the flesh abomination. Doing a little bit of research, while one of you seemingly had some issues in the immediate aftermath of that fight. You managed to discover a bit more information about what was going on, particularly the prisoners that were being turned into arcane crystals and power sources, as well as the cult that had been conducting some operations here at this facility and their ties to an entity known as the Prince. But before you could get a little too far into delving into the research of this place, the steed companion of your wizard notified you that there was a contingent of Imperial troops moving in this general direction, fleeing the facility in hopes of avoiding a direct confrontation with the Empire at the moment. You managed to make your way eventually to the coast of the Verdant Bay Peninsula, not too far away from where you had your magical airship, the Misty Step, parked in the waters of the cove. Quickly getting on board, you very quickly got underway after the Periton did a little more recon and realized that the Imperials were not heading for the facility itself. In fact, they bypassed the facility and were regrouping with other Imperial units heading farther into the peninsula in what you could only assume was an invasion towards the Druids' territory. And with that, we pick up as the ship is just starting to rise out of the water of the Verdant Bay. Multiple gun whales letting off what little bit of water that the ship itself was holding to keep it down, as you slowly take off into the sky with Captain Finstorm Raven at the helm. Wolfpack, what would you like to do?
I mean, I'm assuming we need to track down this Legion, right?
Yeah.
Or should we go back and blow up that facility?
That would
Oh
be
no, you
good
want to
too.
go back in there, right, Drost? You want to go back in there, right?
It would be. I feel like there's maybe a couple of things that I would have liked to have done there, but that's. I mean, unless we think that there's a reason for anyone going back there, in the immediate future, I think the Legion might take priority. Especially if we have an idea where they're going, and if we know the people where they're going to. So,
Well, I mean, I think we can safely assume they're going after the Druids, right? Like that's where we all landed, right?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it seemed logical.
We should not let that happen.
No.
Yeah. If we're headed that way, I guess I don't know how fast the airship can travel, but we should, if we're going to confront a Legion like that with the airship, I feel, I mean, Drost would be, extra, suggesting caution, and if we're going to engage, we should know that we can completely wipe them off the face of the earth, and then, without them potentially getting a sending spell off and telling people where we are and the ship is and stuff like that. I'm all for going for them, but I don't know the ship's capabilities and if it's something that's for sure doable.
Well, I have some good news for everybody then, as far as the ship's capabilities. So, one moment here. If everybody can please turn their attention to the journal, you should see a new entry.
Ooh.
The Misty Step.
Ooh,
Whoa.
Oh my god, my
Sweet.
goodness.
I'm so ready.
We're gonna fuck this Legion up.
Now, there are a few stipulations with this, obviously. So, most everyone here is trained at being able to control the helm. But for the most part, any kind of movement actions, anything like that, are directed to whoever is in control of the helm, which right now is Finn. As far as the guns down below, if you're engaging in combat, anyone who is trained on the guns themselves should be able to operate them. There's a couple proficiencies depending on how much training you got with them that should be noted on very particular guns, in particular the broadside cannons, as far as how many you can fire all at once, and things like that.
That's
Any
cool.
Now, just to explain it, obviously, if you guys get into combat, your guys' direct actions, as far as raging, anything like that, not exactly as effective while you're in a ship. So essentially, the Misty Step acts as all of your guys' party at once. You guys can all take individual actions as far as operating the cannons, operating the ballista on the deck, doing any kind of support spells that you want for those that are operating, things like that, repairing damage that's been sustained, anything like that. You're still able to take individual actions, but you guys will all go as one unit, with certain people being in control of, again, the guns, and certain people being in control of the helm. So if you guys choose to coordinate that, that is up to you. But ultimately, it will come down to whatever that person in control of it decides.
Tez
cool.
has a 1 level of proficiency with the guns. I did mark that down. And I don't think anybody else did because Grook is gone.
I think I was going through people's sheets,
Maybe somebody else does.
and I think Taylor got a level.
Yeah, I only have
training on
level.
the gun deck.
Yep, training on. Okay, so yeah, that counts for 1 level of training on the gun deck. So you are at least proficient enough that you know how to load a cannon. Probably not proficient enough to load them very quickly.
That's fair.
Yeah, I only have proficiency in Misty Steps operation.
Okay, so yeah, you're able to fly it. Things like the ballista, those are easy enough for you to operate and such.
Okay.
As well, obviously, you're also a spellcaster. You're perfectly capable of flinging spells off the side of a ship, depending on your guys' height and everything like that. So, which that reminds me,
Okay.
Pythagorean theorem calculator, because that's going to be handy for this.
Oh God.
Yep, I have to do math.
So something, Corey, something that I sort of discovered when we were doing the Pathfinder game. So you know how they do. So they calculate their diagonals as for the first
Yep.
diagonal it's 5 feet, the next diagonal it's counted as 10 feet. That is almost an exact approximation. It works out to like 7.5
It is
feet
pretty close
per
yeah.
diagonal, which is but that's
Yeah, I with playing
still
around with the map
tricky
that
to
I have
figure out.
set for you guys, if this goes to that, because of it's not exactly a square shape, the ship. So
Sure, I kind of figured it was more nuanced.
yeah, there's gonna be I'll do the math part of that. Don't worry about it too much, but there will be I'll have to make sure checking your guys' heading and the altitude of the ship. So. Because that will be playing a factor into whether or not certain guns can hit certain ranges. But, all right, now that you guys have access to that, you're welcome, because I had a lot of fun designing that. So, are you guys heading off to confront the legions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Finn, as you're at the helm of the ship and begin directing it off to the northeast by east vector, Rulo, the dwarf bosun, eventually comes up. All right, Captain. Is there anything you want us to do? What are we heading into?
Apparently there's a legion of Imperial soldiers headed off into the woods, presumably to start some. Yeah, there's only 30 of them. It'll be easy peasy. But they're headed off into the woods to go fuck with, we're pretty sure, the druids. So we are planning on pursuing them and then blowing them the fuck up.
Fair enough. Do you have any orders for your deckhands here and the rest of the crew?
Fucking keep an eye out for when you see the legion, and fucking once you see them, get ready for bringing the pain.
I'll order him to combat stations then. And you see he literally he was standing kind of behind you off a little ways from the helm spot, walks up to the front of it and yells, "All hands brace for combat! Battle stations!" And you see the two gnome stewards, Dreenan and Drell, quickly stop what they're doing and they start heading down. Sounds like they're heading deeper towards the gun deck. The half-elf, Marius, who's up on the deck doing a bit of swabbing, immediately stashes it away his cleaning equipment and begins prepping the ballista and making sure they're loaded and armed. Orlean, the dragonborn carpenter that you guys have, just goes, "Oh, my," and starts walking down with his hammer and nails, getting ready to prepare or repair any damage that the ship may sustain during combat operations. And Drost, you see all of this happening. This has been kind of a flurry as this ship, you've kind of like, as soon as you got onto the ship, you started looking at the arcane engine, this massive piece of arcanotech machinery just sitting in the middle here of the ship, along with the multiple sails in various spots. And as the ship began lifting, this thing just turned into a humming mass of metal and magic.
Yeah, super interesting. And I would probably begin very respectfully, but I would begin like taking notes and doing what I can to like get to know how this works. Also, to be of any use in a combat situation.
Before I have you roll a quick arcana check, Finn, you're very clearly from your spot at the helm, you're able to see Drost doing this. You also remember exactly where the manual for this ship is. Do you give it to him? I just have, before he starts poking around in it, I wanted to know. Or do you make any mention of it?
Well, since he's just kind of standing around, I'm gonna really fucking put the hammer down and like go at escape speed to get up in the air just to see if I can maybe make him fall down.
Okay.
This is the first time on a flying ship. Like everybody else kind of knows what to look for, what to expect. But I'm really gonna fucking put him through the ringer. Like I said, I'm gonna put the fucking hammer down when we lift off.
Case, as you do so, immediately gunning it as this thing arcs up into the sky, I'm gonna have everybody go ahead and roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
Though everyone but Drost can do it with advantage.
Loud. Your only warning is the loud. Woo!
Drost, it's a straight roll for you. Everybody else gets advantage because they've at least been on the ship long enough to have something akin to sea legs.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna say that I'll use disadvantage because I'm not in any way
prepared for it,
expecting or yeah. Holy cow!
Not one.
I apparently wanted to do well at it.
One more roll, Tyler, because you had advantage on it.
Oh yeah, and also it should be +3. I don't know why it hasn't changed. That's better.
That is marginally better. Okay, and yeah, that's actually everybody. You see the crew, like, they almost falter for a second and they immediately resume their duties. This is not their first time on a ship or in any capacity, like dealing with harsh angles or rising, things like that. These guys have weathered like high storms out on the seas. They're used to the tilting of a ship. God, everybody rolled high enough. Yeah, Tez, you almost fall over. You come the closest, honestly. Like Finn, you're watching as this kind of all splays out. Most of your party, like, they tilt back fairly bad, and then they get their balance again as they kind of get used to the angle. Tez almost like face plants and slides a little bit. Drost almost immediately, by like just force of habit, grabs onto the machinery he was about to start looking, and it holds his balance well enough. So not quite the effect you were hoping for, but it made a statement.
Yeah, I was almost going to just say I failed because that's
You
know
came
me.
close. You came close. It was that split second instinct of like, oh no,
Right.
tilting, grab. This looks sturdy enough, and it is in fact sturdy enough. So, as you start rising, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
And as he's going through it, I'll holler, "Hey, Joesty, you want to read the book?"
Yes, for sure.
If you have the book, take advantage on that Arcana check.
Okay. Advantage.
I'd tell him where it is in the stateroom. He can go get it.
So yeah, I mean, I would definitely take enough time to, breeze through the book and stuff like that. But yeah, after I do that,
18. You have a fair grasp of this arcane engine here. It's essentially magic. It's magically powered, self-sustaining. It absorbs energy from the arcanosphere of the world around it to directly power it, and it's essentially just powering enchantments on the bottom of the ship that cause it to lift and push forward. So the sails help direct a bit of the wind current
Sure.
and things like that, but they're not exactly the part that's doing most of the work here. It's more so that the ship can blend in a bit better whenever it's back in the
Mhm.
water. Because when it's in the water, the enchantments don't work as well because it has to push against, at that point, water tension. And any physicist can tell you water tension's a bitch.
Right.
So it's definitely more for the aerial aspect of things, but the sails are still fairly functional in some circumstances.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
You also learn how to power the arcane gate that is attached to this piece of machinery. There is a lever where you're able to actually create an arcane portal, one end of which is here on the ship, and then one end of which is, depending on where the ground is, but it'll open the portal at the maximum, it'll open at about 600 feet down on the ground.
Yeah, I've got 500 written down.
My bad, 500, correct. Take that, because I think it's straight copied from the arcane gate spell. So yeah, essentially,
Cool.
it's a method of delivering troops and goods and things like that without the ship having to actually land on the ground or berth in any way, shape, or form.
Sure.
And as the rest of the party can attest, it's also good for delivering shock troops while the ship is still firing on territory.
Less effective if the ground where they're going to teleport into is covered in grease, and there's an ambush waiting.
Very
So
true.
does that go just straight below the ship, or can you direct it in a way?
I think
pretty
it's
much
straight down.
Pretty much straight down. There's a little bit of variance. Like it'll take terrain into account so that you're not walking immediately into a rock or anything like that.
Sure.
If there's like a hill exactly where you are, it'll drop it essentially just the closest point of contact where it stops.
Mhm.
It won't put you inside of an object or anything like that. So there's a little bit of variance as far as that, but you can't direct it like 500 feet out to the west or something like
Right.
that.
Yeah, like a UFO,
Yeah,
you know,
just essentially any spot
ray thing
below the
going
ship.
straight down. Yeah.
Yeah, anything that the shadow of the ship would be touching is probably fair game for where that would be cast.
And not on the top of a tree branch or anything, hopefully.
No, nothing like that. The spell, it requires a certain amount of space to open up, so a tree branch wouldn't be able to effectively sustain it or hold the spell. It would continue onto the ground until it essentially hits contact with something big enough to prevent it from going further.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna continue just leafing through the manual to and noting things into my journal as far as what specifics, what
Okay.
does what and stuff like that.
It's a good thing you
progressing.
have, because that means that if the arcane engine takes any damage, you can look at the stats in the Misty Step. The arcane engine has a very specific hit point stat and AC and things like that. You now have the ability to repair it without taking disadvantage on any repair checks.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely be Scotty.
There you go. All right. As the ship continues heading on a northeast vector, you do eventually see a couple of through the trees a little bit, columns of smoke rising off in the distance. Several of them, in fact. And at that point, I'm going to have everybody go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Oh, what is
Oh,
that over there?
would I have been able to call back the Periton
Absolutely.
to just maybe do recon flights? Keep an eye on the Legion.
Absolutely.
Hey, Corey, I can't remember. Does the Captain Spyglass give me advantage on perception?
I think it does. Let me make sure.
I couldn't remember if it
Stats
did
for
anything without the magic. I know it does a bunch of magic shit, but I didn't know if it did the.
Allows for
I
users
would-
to perform a perception check at a significantly farther distance than normal. I'll say it gives you advantage. It's literally you're on a fucking ship at that point. Like, take it.
I'd if I had the time, I'd probably
To do
hit
guidance.
Finn with guidance as well. Not with
Absolutely able
myself,
to.
but for Finn. So for D4.
Yeah, absolutely. And you
sweet.
absolutely would have had the time to summon your Paradin to have it start doing recon. So if you want to make the check with its stats as well, feel free.
You said I added
Oh.
D4 to that.
Correct.
Yeah, D4 onto that check.
All right, so 21.
21. Let's see. We got a 14. We got a 13. We got another 13. 19. Oh, yeah. So 21 and then a 12. All right. So, yeah, Captain Finn,
Oh,
as you pull out the spyglass and begin directing it, you spot the columns and then you spot several more farther in the distance. It looks like you're pretty certain that the group that you're approaching, the closest columns of smoke, are the group that Drost had warned you about with the Peridon. The ones farther out, though, you were not aware that those were
Shit.
in existence.
Oh, apparently these guys we were following were late to the party.
I was just gonna say,
Oh.
yeah, they're
Yeah, they
the mop
from
up
the angle you're seeing. No, with a 21, you'd get this. Based on how they're kind of laid out, it's not exactly that they're late to the party. It's more that they're the group. The columns seem to be advancing in a reverse V. So there's two columns kind of farther into the peninsula, and then they're in the back, pushing through the middle, though.
Okay.
They're trying to do
Oh.
a pincer sort of thing to catch any stragglers, maybe.
Correct. That would be the guess you have. They're trying to envelop anyone that needs to, and then immediately have their force slam into that. You do notice that the column in the center does appear to be bigger than the other columns.
Nice. Well, what do you think, Taz? Think you can do something about those big clumps of Imperials down there?
oh, I think so. Would you like me to try now?
I mean, let's wait till we get in range.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd say once we're in range. What do you guys think? Like a couple of passes with the ventral gun, and then should I just like tilt it right when we get there and just like broadside them?
What if it would probably they'd probably be farther away, but would we be able to work on one side of the V or other to allow to give them at least a avenue of escape?
Yeah.
So they don't get legit pincered, if we I don't know. I mean,
start with that middle, like he said, there was a bunch of them in that middle section. Figured we'd just
Right.
start making it rain on them. But yeah, no, I mean,
those would be the closest for sure. But
well, we can start, like I said, we can start hitting them with the big gun.
I could go shoot an arcane shell with the ventral gun. That will send a good message.
I was gonna say you can probably get a couple pops with that before we get close enough that we have to like swing around and broadside them, right? Or should we hit those guys in the middle and then broadside like one of the wings of the V?
do we have an idea of how far apart each is it like a legit line, or is it three separate groups that are separated by
Three separate
100
groups
yards?
with a good amount of distance between them, several hundred yards in between them. But
Sure.
it's a little hard to gauge the exact distance at this point based on how far you guys are still away. And plus, if something goes down, you get the sense that they would probably immediately start trying to double back. You probably have enough time based on the with that 21 perception, because it's a really good perception check. You get the sense that you probably have enough time to get at least a round, maybe two, off on these guys of like immediate combat whenever you're in closer range to them. But by then, the other two groups will be booking it towards you guys.
Okay, so we can get at least probably two good attacks before the other sides start to come back.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I mean, do you guys think we should just like I said, just hit
Yeah. Just
hit
fucking
the
go
middle
for it.
and then just like cut to the fucking left and just rock it and just fucking broadside down, just fucking drop bombs on that left stretch.
That works for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let's
sort of like
do that.
basically
Like-
strafe a full
Yeah, like here,
line up the V sort of thing.
yeah, and then like cut
do as
this
much
way
damage.
and just blow these dudes up.
How again, not being familiar with the capabilities of the ship, but are we expecting to take much damage? I mean, obviously we don't know about what's on the ground here, but the only reason I ask is I could hop on my Periton and like chuck web spells to slow the group down. But then obviously I'm a little bit more exposed. So
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a you
Ooh.
call. I mean, if you're cool with doing some fucking flybys, then I'm all for it. I mean, anything that's going to cause like more chaos and shit for them down there. And I mean, you can always come back if it's like,
yeah, I was
if
just
they
gonna
got a
say,
bunch of fucking like light bringers and they're fucking kicking your ass, just fly back up
Right.
here. And,
yeah, I'll probably have the Periton come back and sort of like keep pace with us. And then maybe after our first engagement, depending on what kind of resistance we get, maybe I'll hop on and split off to slow down the second group if I can. If there's like 5 wizards in the group that are like really bombing us back, then that's probably a suicide run. So yeah, I'll keep it as an option.
Roast, are you missing any spells right now?
I am.
Okay, hold on one moment. I'm gonna walk to Drost and I'm going to put both of my big fucking paws on his shoulders and I'm gonna kind of look at you, Drost, a little funny, and I'm gonna jerk a little bit and
I close my eyes and pucker my lips.
and when you think this big hiss is coming, you feel this jolt of just magic that just feels chaotic and it just hits you funny kind of, and you can roll a d3 and whatever you hit, that's what spell you get. And that's
D3, huh?
that's
Cool.
bolstering magic, Corey. I can do
Yep,
that up
I figured
to
that was
4 times. Oh, Tyler, I can do it again if you need anything.
I would love that.
I'll do the same thing to you. And it's real raggedy, like it doesn't seem like I have any control over it, but you feel it. So you can roll a d3 and if you need the spell. So Drost, you get a level 2 back.
Sweet.
And you get a level 2 back as well. If either of you, by the way, if either of you are not missing any second level spells and only missing first levels, I'd allow you to split that into 2 first levels.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Alright, cool.
needed a second level, so I'll take that, especially
There you go.
since web is
Yeah,
a second
same.
level. And yeah, excellent. Thanks,
Yeah,
Tez. That's
second level spells are
No
great.
problem.
that's a funny feeling, but much appreciated.
I'm going to take a long piece of leather, beaded leather out, and I'm going to tie my mane back, and I'm going to head down to the ventral gun.
Okay. You start heading down to the ventral gun. Anyone else? What are you guys doing? You've taken, or what combat station are you taking at the moment?
I'm gonna take one of these ballistas up here.
Okay, you mount onto one of the ballistas and get ready. They do have a fairly good arc of range. You're able to kind of aim at the ground at a certain angle, but it's going to be kind of limited once you guys start getting a little closer to them. Your shots.
Okay.
Yeah, you can aim it down at about a 45-degree angle or so. Anything beyond that, it mechanically will not be possible.
Would I be able to cast spells from here?
You would be able to cast spells just by looking over the edge.
All right, cool.
And in fact, Finn, I'm assuming because you guys are booking it over there, the ship currently has like 2 major speeds. Would it be safe to assume you've had it in the escape speed, the faster setting?
yeah. Yep.
Okay.
We've had the fucking hammer down since we left the water.
Perfect. Just making sure. Let me know when you switch to battle speed. Because
I would switch to battle speed when we are in range of our ventral gun.
Okay. Let me make sure of the range of the ventral gun here.
I think it says 500.
It is, minimum range up to 500 and then 1500 max range. What kind of altitude would you be keeping?
I mean, probably, I don't know, 200-300 feet off the ground. I mean, guys, I mean, once they're fairly high.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, high enough to probably unfortunately, stay out of range of most spells, right? That limits our abilities, but it also keeps us safe from
like,
most of the ground
magic,
fire.
like 200 feet, 300 feet. What's the range on like most magic stuff?
Yeah, I mean, not
have-
much goes above that, except for some higher level teleports, maybe, I suppose.
I have like
I think they would
120
regret
feet,
teleporting up here.
150 feet.
Right? Yeah, we would welcome that.
All right, so like 250, we're probably in good shape.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
what's a longbow?
250.
Is a longbow 300?
Longbows are.
I think it's 600. Is it something stupid
it
like
something
longbows
dumb?
It's
longbows
crazy.
are stupid. Like it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
they're goddamn. They're
150 and 600.
Yeah.
yeah.
They can reach out and
150
hit
is
somebody.
150 is disadvantage range. So anything
Sure.
over 150 is a long shot. So
Correct.
I figure if we're at what 250, call it good.
Yeah,
200,
yeah.
250.
Most
Yeah,
arrow
that's fine.
fire is nullified. Most magic is nullified, and we could drop if we needed to. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
figure at 250 that gets us in range if we like broadside for you guys to shoot
Mhm.
the ballista and the cannons. So
Yeah, for
Alright.
sure.
because I'm
I would-
guessing like Taylor and Taz will switch to the like cannons when we bank, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
whatever
since
works.
they're more trained, for sure. I was
Yeah,
gonna
and then
say
Tyler's going to be on a ballista, so because his ballistas
I
are
would-
what each side.
I'd
Yeah.
take whatever
Okay.
easiest, like ballista doesn't require training. I'd attempt that at first.
Yeah, will the ballistas be able to hit these guys in front of us, or just the ventral guns, or will they get like one shot?
Up in front, they would be able to hit them at a certain point. Once you guys get within like 100 feet or so, or a couple hundred feet of
Okay.
them, they won't be able to aim down far enough.
Okay.
Hey, Corey, this arcane shell states that I can choose the damage. Is that an array of damage, like any type of damage?
Let me
Like
make
fire,
sure.
force, whatever? The gunner can choose which type of damage the shell will deal when loading it into the cannon.
Correct. Yeah, it's a programmable shell.
Okay.
And at the moment, the only shells that aren't, because I have an inventory here on the ship, the only shells that aren't currently in stock are psychic damage and radiant damage.
Psychic and radiant. Okay, I think to keep with the old theme of the torch here, I'm going to load the first one up with a fire shell.
Okay, you load it with a fire shell.
Cool.
All right, and as you guys drop the ship into your combat altitude and begin your approach here, the ship begins to slow down as Finn eventually drops it down into battle speed. Dros, you attuned to, or attuned. You got a bit of a glimpse into the arcane engine a bit earlier when you were studying it and the manual. As the ship slips into battle speed, which is still a fairly good speed, but it's slower and it's meant for doing more strafe fire and things like that in combat. The arcane engine, there's this pulse, and you can feel it almost instantly. Any spells cast from the deck of the ship or within the ship itself will have an extended range due to the arcane engine itself.
Good.
Do I know roughly how much that is, or is that sort of a trial and error thing?
There may be a trial and error thing to it.
Okay.
But you definitely feel as you're kind of, thinking about that, like doing the math in your head, all right, I need to be at this far away for me to be able to cast this spell. That pulse goes off, and that kind of sense of like, I can put this spell here, you feel that range just shoot out farther. So you definitely feel like you've got a little more play here, specifically because the ship is in battle speed.
Yeah, I would absolutely relay that that sensation to everyone, particularly.
Everyone here that's attuned to magic, which I think is actually every one of you has some kind of magic capabilities or some connection to magic. You all feel that connection and know that your spells can reach out and hit somebody if they need to.
Ooh.
God damn right.
And for the purposes of this, also, that includes any magical weapons. So, Taylor,
Oh,
you
sweet.
your bowstring feels like it's made of frickin' steel at the
Damn.
moment, and keeps the kind of tension that just only a crossbow would normally have for physics purposes. So you
Nice.
can hit something.
I mean, can I though? You see my rolls. Come on.
That's true. You have the capability to hit. Whether you have
That makes more sense.
the mathematical possibility of hitting is an entirely different story.
Maybe
But
tonight's the night. You're gonna start
Maybe
fucking
tonight's
dropping
the
night.
bombs.
I'm so glad we killed the owner of this ship and took it.
Yeah, that guy was a douchebag anyway.
This is ours now.
all right. As the ship begins accelerating, you guys load your shells, and you hear off in the distance,
Oh,
as it sounds like an Imperial Ranger or two has spotted a very fast-moving ship heading right for the military column. And that is when I'm going to
Light 'em
need
up,
someone.
boys.
I need someone here to please click on the token for the Misty Step, and please roll initiative from its sheet.
I
Once
think that's Finn.
Ooh.
Finn, that's you, buddy.
All right, let me do it.
Not it.
I can't click
Better
on
you
it.
than me. I can't click on it either.
That's weird. Hold on. You guys should have. Yep, it's on the map layer. Why is that not selectable?
Did you put it on the map layer?
No, it's not on the
Oh.
map layer. It's on the token layer. I thought it was on the map layer because I was doing some last minute edits. Is it not tied? Oh, it might not be tied to the token or to the sheet. Go ahead. All right. Yeah, go ahead and throw a roll in chat, and I will manually add it.
Okay.
Oh,
Yikes.
Or
Misty Steps initiative sucks.
all
it's a
right.
little slow.
And
Oh, we're going
legions.
slow.
Well, I mean, we're far enough away. It's not going to matter.
No.
If I'm going to biff a fucking initiative roll, this is the time to do it.
Yeah,
Yep.
for real.
When we're 500 feet away from them.
Yeah.
That's true. You guys have a bit of distance. You guys were moving into attack position and are currently 360 feet flat-wise. So there's about a 400. You guys are now within attack range for the ventral gun.
Yep.
400. It is a 400-foot range currently from where you are currently sitting at. But the legions are aware of your position. So they begin almost immediately breaking apart. 1 second here. So they've got, how much movement did I give them? I gave them a good amount. Yeah, I did. Cool. They begin kind of scattering apart to make themselves less of a target to what they can only see as a ship coming at them. But these are soldiers. They're aware that ships have typically weaponry suited for taking out groups. So they begin splitting apart. First one, how far away? So yeah, now that they're still like 400 feet away. Yeah, there isn't a whole lot that they can do yet. Actually, that one closest to you guys. Okay. As you guys are moving into attack position, Finn, you're still occasionally pulling up the spyglass, popping an eye on them just to keep, and then you start seeing they're setting up some kind of machinery.
Uh-oh.
I
And
would
then you-
yell that to be relayed to Tez to tell him to aim there.
Hmm.
Well, he as soon as you relay that to him, you guys are all perfect. Some of you who have been in Corda in recent months recognize the sound of a giant cannon going off.
Oh no.
Oh, great.
Fuck.
Okay.
Oh.
As one group is able to get theirs set up, and it hits the hull. 4.
Oh my God.
God, I was not expecting a crit this fast. So the hull is now taking damage as a massive cannon shell flies and impacts into the side of the ship in the mid deck. Thankfully, not into the gun deck, which would have been horribly catastrophic. Whoever wants to keep track of your hit points there. It is the main hull of the ship, that 300 hit point maximum, that just took a significant amount of damage. In total, what is that? 30, 55.
76.
Yeah, 76 points of damage in one
God.
shot.
Fuck, what'd you say we got 300?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I see
No.
that there.
There we go. All right. So yeah, your current ship, the main hull
not
of the
good.
ship is now at 224. You guys almost immediately hear the sound of Orleon going, "What the f?" up in the mid deck, somehow not dead. As he immediately, you start hearing him scrabbling to start putting out fire and start repairing the damage to the hull that this thing has taken automatically. The other 2 units that do not have arcane cannons, but you guys are within arrow fire range, so they're going to take a couple arrow shots at you at disadvantage. First one, that's a miss. That's a hit. That's a miss. And that's a hit.
If it's not, I'm gonna attempt to use the shield spell. I have no idea what it's gonna do when I'm on the boat, but if I had an idea, of a increase of range, I don't know if that'll just shield me or we'll see.
Let's
So
see.
I'm gonna
The AC of the Misty Step is 14. Negate. We're gonna negate one of
burn
those
that
because as you
slot.
you instinctively you see a literal storm of arrows flying down at you guys, fired at far enough of a range that it shouldn't mathematically it shouldn't hit. But these are well-trained Imperial soldiers, and they just start pouring shafts into the sky. And you instinctively throw up a barrier, and be in your proximity to the arcane engine picks up on that spell and amplifies it, creating a barrier that blocks out some of the arrow shafts, preventing a good chunk of damage. Only one of those now hit. And
Okay.
that is 20 points of piercing damage, but remember, the ship itself, the hull, is resistant to piercing damage, so it only takes another 10 points of damage.
Good
All
shit.
right, maybe a better point to use that, but now we know, have a rough idea of how effective spells are.
Correct. Yeah, the mechanic here is specifically while the ship is in battle speed, your spells are going to have enhanced range and enhanced effects because you're amplifying the ship itself as part of your
Damn.
actions, and this tie to the Misty Step itself. But that is all of their move and all of their actions to attack. So, Misty Step crew, battle stations, what are you doing? Who's kicking it off?
Oh, are we just we're just
You guys are all going as one big horde of enemies together.
that's cool.
Tez
So you guys need
a
to-
daunting roar. I'll waste it just to roar as loud as I can, like a battle cry. He's not waiting. He's chucking it. He's letting it loose.
Throw that in the chat. I want to see the specifics of it because I want to make
It's
sure.
not okay. I don't think it'll do anything, but let me look here.
You never
Daunting
know.
roar.
The arcane engine works in mysterious ways. I just want to
It's
make sure of
true.
something.
It was for flavor, but if it does anything, great.
You know, for this, I'm going to say go ahead and roll me a d10.
Okay. D10. Oh, that's good, right? Lower, better.
Yeah, so
it's
down
lower
in the gun deck, where things are getting loud now with the sounds of crackling fire in the deck above you as Orlean is just banging away at this, trying to repair the damage to the ship. The roar goes a little unheard, but anyone here who wants to take a bonus of 1 to their roll can go ahead and do so. Essentially, as a barbarian inspiration.
Nice.
All right, cool. I'm gonna roll my ballista shot real quick because I'm just gonna shoot him.
Okay.
I gotta let somebody in the room, so hang on one sec.
12. Let me make sure. I'm assuming that's going to be at the closest one. What's the range on the ballista that I had? 150 feet. Okay. When she gets back, it's going to be another roll because you guys are well out of range unless Finn immediately. Well, actually, I'm going to stipulate that because Finn's at the helm, so technically everything that he would be doing would happen first, as far as the movement of the ship because it's a moving object. So Finn, go ahead and you should be able. Can you click on that token and move it at all?
Nope.
Okay, I need to edit that. Come on, why is it not letting me edit? Controlled by. There we go. Controlled by Finn. There you go.
Oh,
You should be able to.
No, I got it. Yep.
Perfect. All right, so yeah, you should have the movement rules for the Misty Step there. You are currently in battle speed, which means that you can make, or you have a 90 feet movement, so 3 squares total from the front of the ship to where its resting point is. And you can also do up to a 90-degree turn on the ship. Keep that in mind if you're planning on doing any broadsides.
Okay.
And for the ventral gun, because the ventral gun can only aim forwards and backwards. So
Right. Well, so I thought it's 2 rounds with a ventral gun, right? And then we'll
Correct,
be
yeah.
over them because that was.
Yeah, if you keep on this heading, you can hit them with the ventral gun with that angle.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I'm going to keep going this way. And, I mean, I basically have to move. I can't not move, so.
Yep.
I will fly this way. That was 3, right? Did I move at 3?
So. I believe so.
I think
yes.
I did. I think
good.
I dropped it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is there something I can roll to like fly defensively? Like instead of just like, can I try to roll something to be evasive so it's harder to hit us?
I meant to have one on there for evasive maneuvers. It's essentially a dodge action for the ship. So I'll throw that in there. But yeah, there is an evasive maneuvers that you can essentially.
Well, would I roll like my pilot thing for the Misty Step for this one?
Yes. You would go ahead and roll your pilot check for that.
And what would that would be Dex, right? Like
Correct.
okay.
$27. All right. You have the wheel firmly in hand, and you're ready to enact any kind of evasive and defensive maneuvers you need to. Should another shot come out, any shots directed at you until the start of your next turn are going to be at disadvantage.
Okay, works for me.
All right. That brings us down to the rest of the group. So, ventral gun. Since I think that was very heavily discussed, you have a fire shell loaded. Which one you
Okay.
hitting?
I'm gonna. I guess I can see the arcane cannon on their end, right?
Yep, you definitely
That's-
heard it, and as you begin
yeah.
sighting on it, you're able to see this one up front has an
Ooh.
arcane cannon of their own.
I see
shit.
you. I'm letting it loose.
All right,
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
23, that definitely hits. Go ahead and roll
Alright.
damage for the arcane cannon.
Nice. Okay. 15
Alright.
bludgeoning and 31 fire.
Goddamn, 46 points of
Holy
damage
shit.
right off the bat. You watch as this cannon had been set up, most of the legion around them, situated around it in kind of defensive positions, a couple holding bows ready to fire if they needed to, actively defend. And then they see the ship coming directly at them, the gun leveling at them, and another crack as a shell immediately destroys the cannon itself.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey.
The unit is still in play, but it is severely damaged. Just about a little less than half damage to that one. It severely hit. Yeah, goddamn, that was great.
Mm.
But the gun is now unloaded, so you will have to take another action on your turn or next turn in order to load that gun in particular. I think it's
Okay.
the.
And is
Actually-
that with any shell or just the arcanes? There's just one ventral gun, right?
Yeah, there is just one ventral gun
Okay.
that can point forward. Actually, I'm going to make this a roll thing instead of just having an arbitrary rule. Bonus. It'll take your bonus action to load it, but it'll be a dex check to see how fast you can load it.
Okay, so I use my bonus action for the daunting roar. I'll just have to use my bonus action next round to load
Correct.
it. But I need to make a
Correct.
check to do it.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That'll work.
All right. Taylor, you're down there as well, correct?
I believe so.
All right. For the record, while you're there on the gun deck, you do have ports that are open that you're able to fire out of if you choose to. You're also perfectly trained to use your bonus action to load the cannon now if you want to. So I leave that up to you.
Yeah, actually, I will load the cannon.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a dexterity check, please. 10's the DC.
Wow.
10 is the DC. You guys have at least one level of training, so it's not hard to do. I'm assuming this is a normal load, correct? Or are you loading one of the arcane shells?
Well, unless they would have suggested to load an arcane shell, I would have just loaded a regular. So
DM, what's
Okay.
our inventory like on the arcane
I was just
shells?
going to ask that.
would
Yeah.
be
You
good
have
too.
at the moment you have a good amount of them.
Okay.
I don't think it'll come up in this fight if you
Okay.
start using the
All
like
right.
based on how long I think the fight might go. If it goes
And
on
the
longer, there
and
might
the
be some
book tells
Arcane
us
issues.
how to
shell,
make
then.
more,
Arcane
right?
shell.
Correct. All right. 10. Yeah, the arcane shell is currently loaded then. You still have your action. Do you want to do anything?
Can I shoot my arrow out the window? One of the windows at one of these guys that's setting up a cannon on the other teams.
You have access starboard side. You can find that one over here down to the south.
Okay, I'm going for the guy that's trying to put that cannon together and shooting for him.
Okay. Go ahead and make your shot, please. Normal shot. 16 is going to hit. And more importantly, as you fire your shot out, there is a bit of the magic from the bowstring of blasting on your arrow. As it leaves the ship proper, it passes through the field emitted by the arcane engine. You watch as the shaft splits into numerous others. And a
Ooh.
small storm of arrows descends onto the Legion, dealing a little bit of damage. You watch one guy in particular fall.
Yay,
Yay.
I'm useful.
Yay.
All right. And then Tyler the Druid, Taylor the player. Which one of these two legions were you shooting at?
I mean, I was gonna shoot at the one with the big gun.
Okay. The big gun is gone, but if you still want to shoot at them, we can...
Yeah,
okay.
I would have done it anyways.
The range on the ballista, you are within long range of it, but not normal range. So if you can please roll me another check there, or another attack
Okay.
roll.
That's the same roll.
It is the exact same roll. But I will tell you that +1 would allow you to hit them because they have taken a hit.
Ooh.
Nice.
Go ahead and roll your damage for that.
Okay.
All right, that is 25 points of damage. As another thundering crack, this time less fire and mechanical and more just arcane energy emitted as this giant ballista bolt slams into a couple of dudes and emits some thundering, powering energy. That is... God, that unit is nearly scattered at this point.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah, buddy.
And that's going to bring us to Kendall. Kendall, you still with me, bud? I know you're in the chat. I know you're muted. Are you still here? Oh, you bugger. I was gonna have you do stuff.
How dare.
Swear to God, if you fell asleep because I didn't get him in early enough.
Send him a
Damn it.
text.
New
Yep,
Garuk.
he's about to get a text message. Oh, he's about to catch some hands. Oh, there he is.
Where's that little Ewok?
Oh god.
Hey, Kendall. Yeah, you sleeping there, bud?
No.
Okay. Hey, I need you on your sheet. You should have the option to switch to GM or roles, correct? Up at the top
Yes.
of your sheet?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and just make me a strength check on your sheet while it's set to GM, please. This is just going to be my version of a luck check for how things are going for you, based on what I sent you. All right. That'll do it. No, you wouldn't necessarily be within range yet. But you do hear some, Kendall, your character hears some things off in the distance that you have never heard. Some very loud noises that you and your compatriots are hearing in the midst of what you're in the middle of doing.
Oh boy.
All right. But that brings us back. I think that's everybody. Yeah, that should be everybody.
I would.
Oh no, Drost. Yeah, sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes,
That's fine.
What would you be doing?
I would have, first of all, if I would have gotten any information from the Periton about any recon. But secondly, I'm gonna attempt a. I think taking that initial big hit was a big deal. So I'm gonna try and see if I'm just gonna give it a shot and cast Mending. I'm gonna try and find where like the most damage is done and cast Mending and see if the arcane engine amplifies that at all.
It does, in fact, amplify the mending cantrip here. I'm going to say, as you pour the cantrip into the arcane engine and try to amplify it, helping the carpenter down below in the mid deck, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, please.
Gladly.
18. You hear Orlean shout, "What the fuck?" as parts of the hull begin slowly cracking and growing new boards of wood on their own, starting to repair the seams that were cracked open by this arcane shell. The ship gets 18 hit points back.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Is there a mechanic for what they are doing as far as keeping track of? So we were at like 224 before.
So I think it was. Let me make sure here. After the damage, it was 224, and then they took 10 points of piercing damage from the arrow storm, so it was 214.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Gets 10 hit points back, so that'll put it at 232. And then Orlean's going to make a repair check here, which is just going to be plus their proficiency and strength. That's another 20 on top of it. So the ship's back to 252. As the hull itself is starting, there's still a hole in the hull. It's not fully repaired yet, but repairs are still underway.
Mhm.
That mending cantrip definitely helped.
Yep, I'm happy to have done that.
All right. And that, I think, is everybody. Which brings us to the Legion. So that first Legion that got just about smoked scatters. They scatter to the wind and start regrouping with the other Legion over here. And kind of bolster their ranks a little bit. That Legion is only able to move half because they just got more numbers. This Legion that started taking some arrow shots, they're going to retreat a little bit into some tree cover and begin setting up their arcane cannon. Set up, and then they don't have an action for the lock, so they're just going to make a straight shot with it.
Disadvantage.
You're right. They do not have anything to cancel that out either. So one more roll. 13.
Oh.
And there is the shield.
Shield would have reset on your guys'
Oh,
turn, but
okay.
the AC of the ship is high
That's
enough. As you guys are still accelerating through battle speed, you hear the crack, boom, and you hear the sonic boom rock the ship a little bit as the shell accelerating at such a speed below the line of the ship misses and flies off into the forest before eventually detonating off in the woods somewhere else.
Ooh.
The other legion over here, they are still within arrow range. Make sure here. Still at disadvantage, but they do get an additional action because they just got bolstered by the remnants of another legion there. So we have 3 attacks coming in at you guys. 1, 2, and 3. One of those is going to hit, even with the shield if it's up. So
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not gonna burn another spell on shield yet.
11 points reduced to half, so 5 points of piercing damage as some of the sails start getting a few pincushions put through them. Arrows land on the deck. None of you guys are directly hurt. You're able to take cover effectively. You have enough stuff going on around here that you don't have to worry about it too much. Yet, anyway. And that is going to be, actually, before I call it there, go. We're going to roll a couple of checks over here. Okay. Finn and Dros, through your Peridon relaying information to you, you both know that the one closest to you, the legion that's closest to this legion that you're currently attacking, they are booking it like hard, trying to get to you guys as fast as possible. The other legion is very much being harried. They're not making any. It looks almost like they've completely stopped, and actually, some of the smoke coming from that column has stopped entirely, and lightened up a little bit. You're not sure what's going on with that third group, but something is happening with that third group. Dros, you have the ability to send your Peridon closer to that one if you want to get a better picture of what exactly is happening.
Yeah, I'd have him try and fly a little closer, but not take too many risks.
Okay.
Sounds like maybe
it's a good thing it's
maybe
your
the
guys'
druids
turn.
are fighting back.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check for him.
For the Peridon?
Yep.
1 second. He has advantage, and that is advantage on perception checks. Oh, cool. It worked.
18. Your guess that they're being harried by the druids seems to be accurate, as your Peridon gets close enough to get a bird's eye view on the fight. That other group, that column, which of the 3 columns now, this one looked like it had been bigger than some of the other ones. It looks like they're losing a fight right now. In fact, your Peridon's able to see what looks to be some kind of figure out on the battlefield, swinging a great axe and just hemming through some of these Imperial soldiers without a care in the world.
I would shout out to the group. It looks like okay. Now that was a group on our map to the south.
Negative, no. So direction-wise, they're well off in this direction.
Oh,
up in the
I
northeast.
see. Okay.
They're farther in the northeast corner. So for the reverse V, they are the right side of that V, way
Sure.
off. The left side of that V, for the record, is booking it towards you guys.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I forgot. We were only engaging in one. Okay. Excellent. Doesn't look like he needs help, does it?
Not at the moment, it doesn't.
Okay, cool. I would have the Peridon just sort of maybe do just do a recon loop there and keep an eye on that one in case they need help. Pop down there and get them out.
They keep an eye on it then. Captain Finn.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn 45 degrees here and aim at these turds over this direction. And I will move 1, 2, 3.
All right. You direct the ship that way.
And I will do the same thing. I will fly evasively. And since I have the hat on, that's why I roll with advantage.
Yep, correct. Make another
Assuming
dex check
that-
for me, please. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, you guys, even in battle speed, you guys are feeling pretty freaking flighty at the moment.
Jeez.
I'm hopping all over the goddamn place.
So, all right, that's for the helm. We'll stay on the deck for the moment. Tyler, your ballista has a shot at the one right in front of you guys.
I mean, I'm gonna go for it.
Okay. Let me make sure the math here. That is 210 feet. You guys are still at a cruising altitude. About 290, which I think is still in disadvantage range for the ballista.
Okay.
Let me make sure of that. Hold on. Pulling it up.
I thought they were maybe 300, or were they 150?
150. Yeah, the mounted Thunderbolt ballistas are 150, so you guys are just shy, but next round you'll probably be able to get a normal shot in. Go ahead and make your attack at disadvantage, please. And in fact, Marius, who's also there, he wasn't confident enough in his abilities earlier, but he's going to go ahead and make a shot as well at that same group. Disadvantage. Boop. Oh, burn a nat 20 for him, though. His shot goes wide. He isn't able to get quite as clean a shot as you're able to. Go ahead and please roll damage. 19 points of damage. All right.
Nice.
That should be... oh. All right. You watch another small group of them get scattered away from that shot. Gun deck.
Oh, I need to load a shell still, correct?
The arcane shell has been loaded. Taylor
loaded it for
you. For you.
That's
So-
right. That's right.
Yep. Yeah, you watch as the ship turns and realigns. Taylor slams a shell home, closes it, and yells, "Gun ready!" You're ready to fire.
What kind of shell did you throw in there?
Arcane,
That's
my
true.
friend.
I know which
You get
which-
to
which
get to
kind
direct
now?
what kind. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
which
kind
one?
of so what kind of damage would Taylor have grabbed?
Fire.
Okay. More
Ooh.
fire damage.
Here we go.
All right. Make your shot.
Oh
25 is definitely going to hit. Go ahead and roll
Hell
damage,
yeah.
please.
Oh god. Oh, that's a good one.
40 points of damage.
Ooh.
Shit.
These guys are going to make a quick morale check because that was more than half their remaining hit points. Where is
Flee!
Legion? Basically,
Good choice, Taylor.
oh hell. You guys are even through the aiming apparatus of the gun deck and anyone on deck watching, that Legion begins to scatter and break apart, fleeing.
Nice.
Oh, too bad I'm still going to shoot him.
You do take your shot with advantage as they are fleeing and not in or any way capable of hunkering down and avoiding your shots. That is, yeah, that hits.
They're not gonna
they're-
like that.
Yeah, they're not doing great after all of that.
Corey, can I use a bonus action to try to load this thing for next
You
time
can.
in case?
Please go ahead and roll
Okay.
me a dexterity check.
Okay. Oh, that's on Tez. I'm going to. I'm feeling like we got one more up there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in a force damage. Do we got one of
Okay.
those?
You guys have plenty of
Hopefully I
force damage
will.
stocked
All right.
up.
And a check or saving throw.
Check, please.
Okay, Dex.
After my shot, could I assist him? Just in case.
You know what? Yeah, you could. Tez, roll again, just to make sure.
Okay.
You never know. Some of these shells might be unstable.
Okay.
Nope.
Uh-oh.
He was all right.
Good thing.
I
Good
like
thing.
that
The first
10.
one.
It
Good
was
thing
great.
that 10 is the DC for
That's
you.
as good as it gets.
Yep. He almost sets the fuse incorrectly, Taylor, but you nope, and the shell gets loaded without any issue.
Oh, thank you.
Your next shot will be a force shell.
Nice. Cool.
Taylor, any bonus action on your part? If you have anything you want to do, spell wise, anything?
Nah, I'm gonna save my stuff.
All right, that brings us back up to engineering. Grost.
I think we're probably good on the hull. So if I really like the idea of using the ballista, but I also shoot. I want to. Oh no, that won't help much. Yeah, I want to throw to see how far I can get this. I want to use um I'm going to use a web spell and see how effective and if I can get the range that I need to with it.
Okay. What is
Mostly just
the
sort of playing with the.
what is the max range on web?
It's only 60 feet.
You would be able to get just barely get some of them. As that unit directly in front of you guys is scattering about. Obviously, I can't have a token showing like multiple people running in every fucking direction, but they are split apart. Like they are hardly a unit at this point. You could easily
Sure.
lock down a group of them with that spell at the current range.
Okay. Yeah, I would have been fine with it not working. Mostly just an investment in seeing
If you want to save it for a more cohesive group, you can also do that too. I leave that up to you.
Well, yeah, if I would have known that I would have been able to that they would have been spread out and I would have actually been able to hit them, then yeah, I'd save it. And I would lob, gosh, I don't have any really damaging spells. I would lob a ray of frost out there and see what
Okay.
kind of damage that does.
What is your max range on Ray of Frost?
Ray of frost is the same, 60 feet. So
You're able to hit some of them with it, as the Arcana Field does split it into a couple bolts. Through trial and error, you kind of figure out it's a ×5 range bonus.
gotcha.
Cool.
Okay, that is quite cool.
So go ahead and please roll me that Ray of Frost.
So
As
okay,
you
oh
find
shoot, yeah.
you find a group of them just trying to run away, and you huck a bolt at them. 18's definitely going to hit that group. So they take 4 points of cold damage. Yeah, what's left of this group is not doing great. They're hardly in existence at this point. All right, and I think that brings. Oh, sorry. Orlean has a repair check. The ship gets 12 more hit points back as he patches another part of the hole.
Okay, I don't know where my last one was in there.
I
12, you said?
Yes, 12 points.
Okay.
I think that puts us up to 264.
264.
Correct. All right. Hey, Kendall.
Yeah.
Another strength check rolled directly to me, please. Okay. Dros, through your Periton, they relay some information to you that the fight against the far off column with the druids appears to have kind of taken a midway point. It slowed down a little bit. The sides are a little more evenly matched now that some of the element of surprise is gone. There is still very much a figure in the middle that seems to be rallying the druid forces up against the Empire, but not able to make too much out from that.
Okay.
And that brings us back to the Legion at the top of the round. So we're going to address that really sad Legion down at the bottom. They're still getting just hammered. They're going to try and see one more morale check. If they don't pass it, they don't get any actions from this. They're just running. All right. Some of them find some resolve and they're going to get a single action at this point. And they're just going to fire because they're panicking. They don't have a cannon to set up. They're just going to try and do a single arrow shot, which I think is still at disadvantage based on the range.
Oh, just on my flying alone.
And you're flying alone, true. Yeah. Also, yeah, so it's definitely disadvantage. So one arrow shot.
Nice.
Pew.
Yeah, you see the shafts just fall well below the ship. They don't even come close to the prow, and that unit just
dodge.
bolts. They're done. They have given up. Like they're in full retreat, not even bothering to like covering fire or anything like that. They're trying to flee at this point, leaving any comrades and equipment behind. The other legion, on the other hand, though, they're still doing fairly solid. So they are going to set up their cannon. That's one action. And that is... Oh, wait, no. They get an additional action because they're currently bolstered. Yeah, they're going to go ahead. It's going to be a straight roll on the Misty Step as the cannon gets an arcane lock on the ship. So it would give advantage, but that's canceled out based on your maneuvers. Straight roll as you hear another crack. That is a 19 to hit. I will remind anyone that the AC of the Misty Step is 14 currently.
Yeah. Do we still are we still evasive maneuvering and given the disadvantage, or is that not for that attack?
It canceled out with the arcane lock. They had enough actions that they were able to set the cannon
Oh,
up
sure.
and get a kind of arcane signature. So the cannon is essentially tracking you guys now,
Oh.
or was for this shot. So 19 is going to hit as the ship takes 36 points of damage from another shell slamming into the side of this. And in fact, I'm going to have Gun Deck. Please go ahead and both of you roll me dexterity saving throws, please. All right. The hull of the ship takes that damage. In addition, Taylor, you take half of that damage, so 18 points of damage. And Tez, you take the full 36 as well.
Oof. I was gonna tell you I was muted. I rolled with advantage because of
Danger.
what do I danger
Yeah.
sense, yes. Okay.
Yes.
And
That's
would you say
fine.
36? Oof.
Yep, you take the full 36 as the shockwave of this hit, as well as part of the port side hull, has been breached. Currently,
Shit.
you know what? I'm gonna roll a quick dexterity check for the Misty Step just to see how much if the cannons on the port side got damaged. Okay, they did not take damage from that. Yeah, so you guys take some damage as the hull gets rocked, takes another hit. You just hear Orlean above you, one deck above you, going, "Fuck!" Oh, as he starts trying to repair from the top part of the hull, like this new damage that is in both decks, for the record. It is one solid hit that happened to hit the top of you guys and the bottom part of him. So he starts working to try to repair that. The other group, quick D20. Okay, Finn, you're able to spot off in the distance that other column of soldiers is starting to get close, but not quite in combat range yet. And that is all. Oh wait, no, they've set up their cannon. They can't move. That's all for the Legion.
All right.
Captain Finn, on deck.
Well, I am going to turn at these dudes.
I think you guys have. I think if you turn it, you should have like a direct line of sight to it.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. And then I will move my 1, 2, 3. And that is it. And obviously I will fly evasively.
Okay.
So
21. Yep. The ship is still in evasion procedures here as you're ready for the maneuvers. On the deck, Tyler, the player. I swear to God, you guys, every single.
We approved it.
I know I did. I know what I signed up for. That doesn't mean I don't regret it some days.
I think fucking Dross jinxed it. It was fine until he pointed out how confusing it was, because I think we'd all fucking forgotten.
Yeah.
And then he reminded us, and now we've been fucking it up consistently ever since.
Sounds about right.
I'll proudly take credit for that.
I have not fucking bobbled that in like games, and then tonight I fucking did it, I think twice already.
I've already done it twice too.
Hey, real quick, before I'm just going to say the druid and the ranger from now on. Before the druid is able to, or anyone takes a shot, are we sort of loosey-goosey in initiative order? Obviously, Finn moving first makes the most sense, but...
Correct, yeah. If there's something you want to throw onto one of the others in order to enhance whatever they're about to do, please interject.
Okay, so we said it's an X5 for range, roughly?
Correct.
So I'd pretty easily be in range of... for a web, assuming our Pythagorean theorem doesn't add too much range to me.
Current range with the Pythagorean theorem is 233. So
okay,
times
so
6 for
60 feet. We'd
times
be
5,
in
300. You're well within combat range of that.
I'm gonna use that web spell on these guys and direct it at wherever the cannon is, to hopefully get to restrain them, to give us advantage, to give whoever shoots at them advantage on their hits.
Okay. They are going to take
so that's-
disadvantage on their dexterity save for this because they are, in fact, trying to defend a position with this cannon. They're not willing, they don't want to abandon it. So
Nice.
that is a disadvantage dexterity check.
And that's
I
DC.
think that's gonna. I don't think it matters. I think that's gonna fail. These guys are diehard. Like, we are defending this cannon, and they get covered in like snot, essentially, just a layer of it.
Cool. Thanks, Tez. That was your chaos magic that
Very nice.
brought us that.
You're welcome.
So then, hopefully anyone that attacks them should have advantage as being restrained.
Yeah, this group
Nice.
is most of this legion is now currently restrained. There's a couple of like outliers that were like serving as scouts that didn't necessarily get hit. They're trying to hack most of the unit out, but they are not effective as a unit at the moment.
Well, I will be letting go of the ballista and casting Call Lightning over the cannon.
Sweet.
Okay, go ahead and put that in chat for me, please. I need to see just how fucked these guys are. As a lightning storm, as you literally start weaving some of the clouds above you into a frenzy.
It's brew time.
Oh, good God. Okay.
So
it's a dexterity save, but I'm pretty sure because they are restrained.
It's going to be centered on the cannon too.
So fail, maybe? I don't remember.
It's disadvantage. I'm going to say they're going to take a penalty to it too, because they're still in. Even if they didn't have disadvantage from the web, they would have been trying to defend. They wouldn't have just abandoned this area. So, once again, does not matter what I do. The dice are telling this story today. This lightning storm just starts obliterating some of these guys. Multiple lightning bolts getting called down, striking at multiple members. Oh God, and they have the cannon, and the cannon's a fucking lightning rod.
Yep.
That's fun.
Amplified damage?
It does. That cannon itself gets directly hit with the lightning, and it amplifies it out to some of the web. You watch a couple of these guys, they like start leaning over because they can't actually fall over from being dead.
So Skyrim physics.
Basically.
Yay!
Yeah, they are just propped up. So they're pretty well hosed. So gun deck, what you got for me now that this group ain't doing hot either?
You want to go first? Go for it.
Okay. I'll pick off the stragglers.
I'm gonna let loose this Force shell.
Don't forget advantage.
It's advantage, by the way.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Go
Please roll one
again.
more
Come on,
time.
nat 20. Come on, nat 20. Damn.
Oof.
We'll take a dirty 20.
Yeah, I'll take a dirty
Go
20.
ahead. Go ahead and roll that damage.
Oh god, that's ugly.
38
Oh, that bludgeoning.
38 points of damage, though, is nothing to sneeze at. And in fact, let me make sure, do the math in my head here. See, that's 76. Okay. Hold on, I need their actual hit points before I start having to make a morale check here.
I mean, they're about to have 2 sets of arrows coming at them, too, so.
That's very true. They're definitely going to try and make a morale check real quick because that was more than half their hit points. Oh god,
baby.
yeah. So
Fuck
they're
yeah.
now hear screaming like, "Oh my god, let us out!" As they're wanting to get out and they physically don't have the capability of doing so. They are locked into this position. As you go to fire,
And I keep forgetting I have 2 attacks, damn it.
you do in fact have 2 attacks.
22 damage.
Both of those hit. Yeah, 22 points of
God.
damage. Oh god, yeah, that is. Oh god is right. That's another
Well, how
half.
the hell did I roll 3 10s out of 4 rolls? The fuck, guys?
The screaming intensifies.
These poor people.
There's only like 5 of them still standing at this point, and those 5 are still locked in place as well, and they can't run away.
God.
And there were 30 to start with, right?
Savage.
It was upward. I'm playing kind of loose with the numbers. It's like 30 to 50 depending on some of these groups. So
Nice.
it's a horde essentially. Also, that group off to the southeast over here, they completely fucked off.
Good.
I'm out.
Yeah, they're done. They disappear. Like there's no unit cohesion in the slightest. It's less than like 10 dudes, and none of them are working together. They fucking split off into the forest and are just making a break for it on their own. Damn the Empire. Damn any of their comrades. Screw it. I'm out to save myself at this point.
Anybody want to make bets on how short they live?
Not long.
Speaking of, Mr. Kendall. Drost, your Periton comes back with more intel. The fight is going in the Druid's favor once again. The champion, your Periton's now actually able to make out, just in some of the recon circles, gets close enough to see this figure with the great axe hewing his way through some of these Imperial legions. Kenda, would you be so kind as to describe what this Periton sees?
A 6'2" dragonborn, just lobbing creatures everywhere with a giant axe.
Sweet. I would, yeah. Any details? I mean, I don't know where I am. If I'm in earshot of the others, I'm probably below decks. But I would shout out that they've got a. Sounds like the Druids have a pretty effective leader, and the group to the whatever's northeast is pretty well handled.
We'll mop up the rest on the way.
Right. How much of no survivors stance are we taking?
Good
I
question.
mean, I'm
What is that?
gonna kill as many as we can.
What is Drost talking about? Why is he saying that?
Maximum casualties. Like, I'm not going to chase those dudes that are running away down just on principle. Like, if these other dudes hadn't been up here to the north, I would have chased them down and
Right.
wiped them all out.
I'm
I'm
mostly-
fine if a few leave to talk about the hell that we bring upon them
Sure.
if they stand in our way.
Yeah, that was the point. Is like, are we leaving no trace, no one to report back?
I think it's
or-
good that we sow a little discord with this one, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, they thought burning out that village was a good opening move, so we'll match theirs with wiping out a few of their legions.
There we go.
Oh, that reminds me. How many rounds of combat have we been in?
Three?
I want to
Yeah, I think this
say
is our third or fourth.
1, 2, 3.
4?
I believe this is 4.
Okay, which means here at the top of the 5th. First off,
Yeah, 4. Confirming.
Okay.
This is where we started. We were like a good 12 blocks away, so
very
3 blocks
true.
per movement.
Okay, I'm going to note that down. And then for that group that's still booking their way down to you guys, they appear to have You guys aren't aware of that, no. The ones up to the northwest haven't shown up yet. They're still not within combat range.
Rory, did I have
However-
a chance to reload? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I forgot. Yeah, you guys didn't use your bonus actions. If you want to go ahead and take your bonus action to do so, you can
Okay.
You reload
Taylor,
with an assist.
there you go. Take advantage
Okay,
on your reload, please.
Nice. I'm gonna throw in. You know what? If you said that there's no issues with inventory, I'll load it again with another force.
Let's put it this way. If the fight goes on to the point where I think inventory may become an issue, I will mention it.
I'm gonna keep going with these arcane shots. Then Tez doesn't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm getting
nailed
good
it.
at it.
Boom.
This shot is loaded so well, your next shot with the arcane cannon will be at advantage.
Oh fuck.
Nice.
Okay.
Like fucking like Gears of War. You have
Yep.
to reload right
Yeah,
at the
you-
sweet spot.
Yeah, essentially you did. Yeah, you scored high enough on that. The shell itself is locked into a perfect position that it's going to get maximum velocity, maximum accuracy. So,
Hell yeah.
you will get an advantage to that. So,
Nice. Very cool.
Fucking laces out.
exactly. The Legion, I mean, they're still locked the fuck up.
Oh, did Dingleberry get a chance to do a repair check?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. 15 points back to the hull as he
Dingleberry.
begins repairing some of it. The gun deck can just hear him yelling, "God damn sons of bitches, this is so ridiculous. We need another carpenter." God. And just hammering away at the hull.
Nice.
We got dickloads of cash. We'll hire another carpenter.
Okay, that Legion is still locked the fuck down. Drost, what's your spell save DC? I think it's
18.
18. They're gonna make. I think it's a strength check to try and break out.
It is
correct?
a strength check. Yeah, not a saving throw. Just straight
Okay.
check.
Normally they'd be able to try and help each other out. However, there's only like 5 dudes left, and all of them are locked down, so they're making this shit a disadvantage. Because there's no way that any of them would be able to do it. You start hearing praying.
Oh. Oof.
These guys, like even at this distance, they are like shouting their prayers up to Nalarn, praying that the Imperial God of Justice does not let them die in this moment.
I
But
don't think that's gonna work, boys.
that brings us back to the Misty Step, Captain Finn.
Same thing. I'm gonna keep dead at these dudes because we've already let a couple of them go. So I'm feeling like. Oh wait, I think I moved 4. Or if not, that's it, right? Is that 3?
Yes, looks like it.
Okay. And then I'll roll for my flying.
Yep, still evading.
Yep.
All right. Whoever wants to go next, I will mention. Anyone who's trying to use a ballista shot, you will no longer be able to make the shot at this target.
Yeah, I figured.
I'm going to do another lightning strike.
You can absolutely do that. I'm going to tell you right now that they're going to autofill all of their dex checks because I'm. You know what? Just because I'm curious, roll the damage for this. But yeah, they're. You watch as another lightning bolt hits this just cannon. Because it's still acting as an arcane lightning rod. Essentially, it's a giant hulking piece of metal that was meant to blow something out of the sky, and it's now just getting blown up in the process of this. Your lightning bolt hits the cannon and ignites some of the shells, and that entire area just gets engulfed in arcane power.
Nice.
As the last of them expire. That unit had no survivors. No stragglers getting away, trying to save themselves. They're done.
Oh,
That was
man,
gnarly.
I had my bow air knocked ready to go. Darn.
Too slow.
Yep.
Well, now we
That's
can
it.
just
We already
turn on
left some
whoever's.
survivors. Yep. Because you said they're to the north of us, right?
They are to the northwest, correct.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm going to have everybody go ahead and roll me a perception check real quick.
Okay.
I also have a question. Would cure wounds heal the ship? I doubt it, but I'm just curious.
You can try.
I was gonna say I would have given Finn a guidance, made my way to the top deck, but I don't think that's necessary.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's try.
It'd be seen through walls and shit.
Right?
All right. Tez, you don't see much down on the gun deck at the moment.
Oh,
Taylor, you do watch a piece of the gun deck begin repairing itself a little bit. More so
Ooh.
that the arcane engine is converting what is normally healing magic into restorative force. So the ship does get 9 points of healing back to the hull.
Nice.
It's not
Um,
quite as effective as mending cantrips, but it
Yeah.
is something that can be used.
Yeah, definitely good to know. But I was gonna say, save your resources because mending is essentially free.
Yeah. Just keep it up every round, I guess.
True.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
Tyler and Finn. Finn, you spot it first, but Tyler, you're pretty eagle-eyed up here as you're calling down lightning storms. You both spot the columns of smoke that have been making your way from the northwest, this other force, stops abruptly. And then the columns of smoke die out. There's no more smoke being emitted from this force. And then you see just something fly by. You almost think it's a bird for a second. About 100 feet behind you, you hear a voice call out. So this is the crew that managed to kill Forden the Traveler.
Oh shit.
You turn around
Oh shit.
Oh.
and you see a man that Drost is almost immediately familiar to you.
Oh, cool.
Oh no.
Finn, you have seen this man once. It's been a hot minute since you've seen him, and he looks a bit different. But floating above you guys, hands and feet,
Shit.
Oh,
wreathed in
shit.
flame, keeping him up light. Golden brown hair framing his head, eyes that you, even from here, you can see flicker with blue and orange and red. Skin so tanned, it's hard to tell whether it's like burnished bronze or sunburnt flesh. Bearing a white vest and a white coat with gold and red inlay, cut in the same mage's fashion that Drost wears his own clothing. Staring down at you with just this, even from here, you guys can see almost this look of not even apathy, just such a lack of caring for what he's looking at as he just stares at you guys. I wish to parley with the captain of this ship. What do you guys do?
Is Tez up yet from the gun deck?
Tez has not made his way up from the gun deck just yet.
Fair enough.
But you guys, you two down in the gun deck did hear it and are making your way up.
Oh,
Absolutely.
somebody's up there.
I
Let's
just
go.
step closer just to get a better look.
You see him in all of his flaming glory.
I'm just silent.
Two more of you.
Judging.
Two more of you up on the deck. What are you doing?
I'm looking at everybody. I was like, what do you guys think?
I have my arrow knocked and ready, aimed at his head, but I'm not firing unless we are told to fire.
I mean,
Because I don't know what we're doing yet.
what do you guys see? I mean, should we talk to him?
I mean, why not?
All right. All right. How you want to do this?
Am I permitted to board the ship?
As long as you don't set it on
Yeah.
fire.
You watch as the flames in his hands and feet kind of flicker and die down just a little bit as he begins descending. And then as he's about 5 feet from the back of the ship, 5 feet above the back of the ship, here at the keel. The flames die out, and he just drops, lands, straightens out his coat a little bit, and looks at you. And Finn, go as he immediately stares at you because you're wearing the captain's hat. You're standing at the helm. Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Okay.
His face, as you're kind of looking over it, you've seen it a couple times, and the one time you one time you got the most bit of vision on him, the look on his face was kind of just boredom. Right now in this moment, you see a bit of that in it, but you're not able to make out much as he's just kind of looking over the rest of the crew. As Tez and Taylor, you're both now on the deck and seeing this figure standing up there.
Oh, who's this?
I do not believe I know of you. The rest of this crew, other than those two, and he points over at Drost and Tez, the rest of you are known to me. My master Vandrin speaks of you as if you are bugs beneath his boot. He kind of looks over at you again, Drost. 1 second here. Where are his stats?
Gross, do you know this man?
He's
Yeah.
going to make a quick insight check.
That's the torch, Tez.
Oh,
Oh, that's not what I meant to click. Hold on. Ignore that. Oh, I'm going to take the die roll from the original. So, 12. He keeps staring at you, Drost, a little bit. Your face seems familiar to me, but I cannot place it. Then again, you are Imperial. That is typical for your kind.
Maybe we met in a library somewhere.
Maybe.
did you come up here so I could twist your head off?
Is that your intent to do here? To kill me?
No, not here. We said parlay.
Oh, what's that, Finn?
A captain of his word, I see.
And Finn, while we're parlaying, I want to get a little bit of height on the ship and get us out of ballista range, just in case.
The men up to the west will not be bothered with us. I've ordered them to stand down. As for the men in this location, we do not need to worry about them, I think, anymore, thanks to the efforts of your crew. And my force to the northeast, well, something else slowed them down, but I will investigate that another time. I came to find out why my master seems to disdain all of you so much. I think he may be a bit biased. You seem fairly capable.
Thanks.
Dros, you very clearly saw after it was pointed out, like he's straight up flying with fire. Jet screaming with hands and feet ablaze. For reference, if you've ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Literally just, I am now a
Fire
jet engine.
jetpacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. As he's just kind of looking over. Vandrin seems to think that none of you are perfectly capable of doing anything, but this is clearly... You took out Forden, which, admittedly, he was a flawed creature. But you do seem effective in your own way. He may be a bit too biased. I, for one, am interested in seeing just how powerful you are.
To what end? What can we do for you?
You can sate my curiosity. But not today. Today I am tired and I do not feel like fighting you today.
Oh, we're tired too, then.
Hez says with 0 rages.
He looks at you and like he does this like weird head tilt where he looks like he's trying to get a gauge of your capabilities. You have an aura to you that seems almost familiar in a way.
Well, we've never met, and I don't think you should be talking to me.
That is fair. Creatures as powerful as us tend to stand above the others, do we not?
Tez tilts his head. You've been killing innocent people. And then you step on our ship, and you want to be friends.
I did not say I want to be friends. I said I came to parley. I just came to get a gauge of the men and women that my master seems to think should not warrant any concern. I disagree. And now I think I have a fair gauge of your capabilities. I think we are done here. And he literally turns away and just starts trying to walk towards the back of the ship.
What a nice parlay.
Yeah.
Does anyone do anything as he leaves?
Anybody?
Fuck, man. Not
My
really.
bow
I'm
never
letting
hurt
go.
much, but I never.
I'm afraid.
down
I'm
if anybody
afraid
else
to.
is.
I got no fucking spell slots left.
I am fucked right now. I think
Yeah.
with 0 rages, Tez looks like he's exhausted.
Yeah. Well, that, and if we don't take him out and he gets away, who knows what he'll do as retaliation for us breaking fucking
Yeah.
parlay. No,
trusting in the
I'm letting him
parlay.
go. I mean, he didn't attack us first, so.
Yeah, I've had my bow aimed at his head in case he tried the slightest thing. I was going to let loose, but he never did, so I'm not firing unless he does something first.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have any water spells prepared.
Fair enough. You guys all watch as he leaves. He literally just walks up to the railing at the back of the ship and hops over it like it's a fence. And you for a couple seconds, you don't hear anything, and then you suddenly hear this loud screeching sound as the very air around him is ignited, and he takes off, flying, curving around your ship, stopping up near the prow.
I roll my eyes.
I do intend to fight you one day, but I'd like you to be at your best to truly sate my curiosity. And then he takes off, heading to the northwest where those men were.
Oh, I hate that man.
Oh,
Yeah,
I do
he's
not
gonna
like
regret
him.
that
He
one.
is such a
I'm
dick.
going to eat his heart.
As you hear a loud, fiery explosion coming off from the distance in the direction of where those men were.
Oh,
And then you see a small figure flying away off into the distance.
We should really see what's going on over there.
Yeah, I'd say we head for the fucking commotion at
That was
escape velocity.
for the record, the where that fiery explosion was, that was not at the group to the northeast. That was the group to the northwest, the ones he ordered to stand down.
He just blow his own dudes up just to be a dick.
What? Because they
Is
were
that? Do we
weak.
want to check that out or the other one?
The other one that we don't know what's going
Okay.
on, right?
Yeah.
That was
Which
where I was
reminds me,
leaning towards.
hey Kendall, hey buddy,
Yeah.
go and make me one more check, please. Now that some dramatic
Oh.
tension. Oh, hey Kendall, please go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
Holy shit.
That didn't go well.
You guys can probably guess what he rolled.
Mm-hmm.
A 6?
Okay. Yeah. So you're Trost. As you guys begin heading off to the northeast to investigate where that druid fight is, the Periton reports that there is a flying figure that zooms by at top speed, and then you watch a small fiery explosion coming from the center of where that fight is. Kendall, please go ahead and you're gonna take. Where is my advanced die roller here? Please mark down that you took 33 points of fire damage.
Ooh. That's a lot of damage.
Woof.
Okay, so the Periton said so we saw the explosion from the northwest.
Yeah, there was a
And
very, very massive explosion from the northwest, and now from the signs of the smoke column over there, it looks like it went badly.
Yeah.
To the northeast, where that fight with the druids was going,
Yeah.
Your partner reported seeing that figure, the torch, fly by and just kind of as a whim threw down a fairly powerful fireball.
Oh, okay.
Or some kind of fire magic at there. As the smoke kind of clears a little bit, the figure, the kind of like dragonborn figure that's been leading this effort, is still alive, badly burnt in some parts, and a lot of his allies are very slowly moving at this point on the ground. Most of the Imperials are dead or being finished off at this point.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
partially because what remain or survivors there were of the Imperial force also just got hit by that fireball.
Yeah. I mean, I relay that to the group and be like, yeah, let's head that way. Looks like there's survivors, druids.
Hey, why don't you ride your thing down there and let them know that we're on their side?
Sure. Yeah, I'd call the Periton back. I'm not sure if he'll get back to us in time for to get back to him too, but yeah. I'll call it back.
Between you guys rushing to meet him, you're able to hop on him and double time it a little bit.
And I would slow down a little bit. I'd give him time to.
Yeah.
I just don't want them
let him get
shooting at us.
Fair enough. A fair point. You don't want to startle the locals too much yet. So you slow down, and Dross is able to get forward a little bit. As you're making your approach, hey Kendall, or should I say, Loki? You with me, bud?
Yeah.
This has been a very long, 10 minutes for you. You had almost no warning that this attack was coming. So, you picking up everything, or dropping what you were doing, grabbing your axe and running to go help the shield and the knife ears fight off these invaders over here. It was a bit of a rush. You weren't sure what to expect in this fight. You let your bloodlust get a bit high, and you managed to carve your way through quite a bit of Imperials. Knowing that you were supposed to be keeping an eye out for specifically some of the Knight Imperators that were supposed to be here, and you fought a couple of them. And then right as the fight was starting to wind down, you found the third of the Knight Imperators with this force. And you recognized who it was almost immediately. And you stood about 10 feet away from him holding a gleaming sword, wearing his plate armor, staring at you. How are you still alive? You should be dead by now.
I'm a resilient son of a bitch. And I will kill you.
Trash like you has tried and failed before. And you go to swing your axe. He goes to lift his blade. And you watch as a small little orange dot lands in the middle of between you two. You're blown back.
Oh no.
About 10 to 15 feet, landing prone. You kind of stand up almost immediately in a combat crouch. Severely singed. Very badly burnt in some places. Very dehydrated too. And you start looking around. And the dude who was standing in front of you was also blown back in the opposite direction. Or rather, what remains of him was blown back. You kind of walk over, and you're now standing above the corpse of Klaus, who is, as you can see, his armor has melted to the point of fusing into his body, and what flesh is visible is severely charred. What do you do?
I'm going to check to see if he's still alive.
Okay. Are you just checking for a pulse? What are you doing for that?
Yes, checking for a pulse.
Okay. You have to push through some very crackly burnt skin to find where his pulse should be, and there is nothing.
It was supposed to be my blade to kill him.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check real quick. You can take off the GM mark, by the way. You can roll it public. Well, you didn't get a good look at whatever dropped that little fireball in the middle of everything. But you do see, coming from the southwest from where you're at, what looks almost, from a distance, it almost looks like a griffin. And as it gets a little closer, it's a little more monstrous looking in shape, but you see that there's a rider on the back of it, a human. As it gets a bit closer and starts getting, not like landing right next to you, but landing within earshot of both of you, so you're able to converse.
I would shout out as soon as we're in earshot. I'd shout out, "Hey, are there survivors? Anybody need help down there?" Okay, bye.
No, we're good. But who the hell are you? Are you Imperial?
No. Is the Misty Step out of eyesight or in eyesight at all?
It is not in eyesight just yet. Finn slowed it down
Uh,
enough to give you some time to try and explain things.
Sure. No. Yeah. No. I just tell him that no, I'm part of a group that just took out a legion, and it looks like the torch made his way past you guys too, huh?
Loki, that name, the Torch, doesn't ring any bells.
Who the hell is the Torch?
Uh, you just got rocked by some fire, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was him. He flies apparently with like fire hands and stuff. Anyway, um, the rest of the group I'm with is on their way in an airship, so um, they're making their way down here to see if they can help with whoever needs help. Who are the rest of the group that you're with?
They
Uh,
are called the Night Elves. Or Knife
Ears.
Ears? Knife Ears.
Yeah, Kendall or Loki, you look around. You had some like early detection forces of the shield of Verdance, the circle's, guard essentially.
Yeah.
As well as you were backing up the Knife Ears, who were the ones doing the harrying, slowing them down so that the shield could get prepared. Most of the Knife Ears that were here are dead, and what little remnants or what parts of the shield that were there to help you are also badly defeated. This was kind of a stalemate for you. There are a couple of survivors, some fairly wounded. Uh, in total, you came here to reinforce with you and the Knife Ears and the Shield. There were about 60, 70 people. You're walking away with less than 15.
What's your name, by the way?
The name's Loki.
Loki. I'm Drost. Looks like we've got something in common.
We might. He took my prey.
Hmm. Uh, what's this group that you were with? The knife's edge?
The,
what are you guys
they are
doing
the
up
Knife
here?
Ears.
The knife ears. Sorry. What are you
Yes.
guys doing up here?
We are part of the rebel group that is up here.
Well, the rest of the people that I'm with will probably get on pretty good with them. Hopefully we can join forces in some capacity.
It's at this point, Loki, off behind Drost, a couple hundred feet at this point, you see a massive airship floating a couple hundred feet in the air, approaching your group.
What the hell is that in the air?
the airship that I was telling you about. It's new to me too, so I can't really explain it well. But other than the obvious, it's got cannons and shit, so made pretty quick work of the Legion.
And how
But
many
yeah.
friends do you have?
Friends? No, there's I'm not sure about the crew, but there's 5 others. 4 others, sorry.
You also know there's 5 crew members.
Sure. So yeah, there's about a dozen on the ship right now. Half of them stay on. Half of them, are crew, and the other half are the other group that's apparently been fucking shit up in the region. I just met him like, what is it? Like 2 days ago.
Like 3, yeah.
So apparently they're taking applications. So maybe if we find a common cause.
We'll see.
Cool.
All right.
Uh,
As that discourse finishes, Finn, you bring the ship over to the area and see just kind of the devastation that had happened here. There's a lot of bodies, not all of them burnt to a crisp, but there's definitely a few that are kind of still on fire after what looks to be a drive-by fireballing. You're still a couple hundred feet in the air. Are you parking the ship, or are you opening the gate portal? What are you doing?
What's the terrain look like around us? Is there like a valley around here someplace I can settle down in?
Well, this was fairly heavy wood, and then a lot of it got destroyed in the fight, so it's kind of an open clearing at the moment. The trees are still high enough that you could probably get the ship fairly low to the ground.
Okay. I mean, like low enough that, like, they wouldn't be able to see us above like trees. Like how
Low enough
how
that
low?
it would be pretty hard to spot from the canopy of the trees. So
Okay.
fairly low.
Okay. Then yep, I will bring us in as low as possible, and I'm assuming we need to get off and go meet with these like druids, right? Also, I'm kind of beat. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah,
It's been a
I
long
would
day.
love to not do anything else.
Yeah, well, let's go find what I'm presuming to be like your people, right?
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Yeah, well, looks like you're in charge.
Oh,
Lead on.
all right.
Once we're off the boat, I'm not captain anymore. Remember?
True.
I still go by it though.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As the gangplank drops and you guys are able to step off of the ship back onto solid land once more, is anyone staying with the ship? First off.
I think between Jerry and like the crew.
Yeah, Jerry's got our backs.
I can
What
have
was the-
Elvis like hide out in the woods around it, and if somebody gets close, I'll have him fucking hightail it and let me know.
Yeah, you have him keeping an eye out on things.
Yep.
Loki, you watch as a very eclectic group of people, a couple, another human, 2 half elves, a what looks to be a cat, like very large, powerful looking cat person of some kind. They all step off of the boat from this gangway that suddenly this floating ship has, putting them on the ground. As you look at the half elves, the male that you don't necessarily recognize anything on the male. The female, though, she's wearing trappings that are very similar to the druids of the circle, almost exactly in style. And the rest of you, as you come down, you see this very large, imposing green dragonborn holding a very bloodied great axe, burnt in several places on his body, as he's kind of standing there next to Drost, seemingly having finished talking.
Hey
Big
everyone,
fucker.
this is Loki. This is the one that was leading the group that was
Oh.
taking care of this legion.
Nice work.
Hello,
Yeah.
Loki.
Loki, this is airship. The rest of everyone.
Yep. Finn, Stormraven.
Tyler.
Taylor.
Heads of the Tall Stone.
Nice to meet you all.
So I'm assuming you're part of this whole like rebellion thing up here, right?
Yes.
A member of our party would like to have a word with you guys' leadership.
I just raised my hand. Me.
I had a feeling.
Oh. Oh, man. Cool. I'm assuming you know the way.
Yes, I do.
You guys watch as one of the Elven scouts, part of the survivors here. Sir Loki, we've got the survivors bandaged. We're ready to head back to camp. Are these guys allies?
Yes. Yes, they are.
Okay. Should we check with the tree speaker before taking them back, or do you think it'll be all right?
I would say it would be all right.
By your word, then, Knight Commander. And they walk away. Drost and Finn, as Loki kind of turned away to talk to this elf, you notice there's a insignia on his armor, on his pauldron. Both of you, only because you've spent time farther south than anyone else, would recognize a symbol, very heavily scratched out and kind of X'd out, almost with like steel on steel, trying to cross out an emblem. But you'd recognize it as the emblem of the first pillar of the faith, a religious militant organization that some knight imperators serving the Church of the Imperial Justice serve. Specifically, this is a branch that serves war, the like idea of honor through combat. But it looks like it is fairly faded, and someone took like a dagger to try and scratch it off of the armor a bit.
So this is the insignia is like part of the Imperial Church.
Yes, the pillars of the faith are essentially militant organizations, almost like Knights Templar or Paladins, essentially, that serve the church in a military capacity. Specifically, each pillar dedicates themselves to some aspect of the faith. The first pillar is dedicated to honor through combat.
Gotcha.
And the idea that you can purify your spirit and better worship Nalarn, the Imperial God of Justice, by carrying out trial through combat and things like that.
Okay.
Nice.
But
Apparently this
Loki,
guy.
you have a bunch of new friends here. Are you taking them back to the circle?
Yes.
Okay. Are you guys leaving the ship where it is?
Hey, Loki,
Yes.
before we get too far, how safe is our ship parked here? Like, do you guys have people that can like help patrol? I guess how far are we going?
It's like an hour away, Loki, on foot.
About an hour's away.
So not that far.
No.
Like not worth flying to. Is this like the best spot probably to park or berth?
Loki, you can think of a couple spots a little closer to the circle that you can probably berth the ship, but you get the feeling that the tree speaker might have some words about that if you do it without checking with her first.
Yeah, I would think
Bringing people to the circle is one thing. Bringing an Imperial style airship might be another.
it's better to leave it here for now.
All right, do you have some like people you can help watch it? I mean, I've got my associate, and I'll toss Elvis up into the air and have him fly up into the trees. I mean, he can keep an eye out, but I would like my ship to be here when we get back.
A couple of the elves carrying longbows, almost in the style of like Imperial Rangers, like Taylor wears his armor and bow. They kind of look at each other and then they look over at you guys. We can keep an eye on it. We're still patrolling the area just in case they try to regroup and come back.
Perfect.
I can have the Parrot just do flight recon too.
Everybody feel pretty comfortable with coverage.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay.
All right, and then you guys are heading out to the Circle of Verdance.
Yep.
Okay. Loki leads the way with what survivors are going back, mostly wounded at this point. And you're kind of seeing most of the wounded here are elves, in fact. There are two beings that look a little more human, and then you kind of notice are also half elves. Most of them appear to be Taylor especially would spot this. Some of them appear to be like just the way they kind of operate and move through the woods, the style of their armor and things like that. You get the sense almost immediately, Taylor. A couple of these are Imperial Ranger defectors.
Oh, nice.
The others that aren't necessarily wearing that kind of garb, though, a little more druid-like in their trappings. Leather armor, things woven leaves and grass, things like that. A little more earthy in vibe, but still look like they can probably hold their own. Like wooden-style shields, scimitars, staffs, things like that. Most of them heavily damaged after this fight. That did not go their way in the slightest. But they start making their way back, and you slowly start hearing and seeing more and more people. Some of them living in kind of earthen homes dug into like the roots of trees. Some living in the trees themselves in tree houses and domiciles carved into some of these massive redwoods that still live out here in the Verdant Bay as well. And it's a little bit, you start seeing more scrutiny towards you guys. Not directed at Loki or any of the survivors coming back, although there are some like sad looks given towards them given the amount of people that left. But then you start getting some of the like questioning eyes and glances towards your group as they're just kind of looking, especially at Drost and Finn. And then a couple also at Tyler.
I just kind of give him the eyebrow.
Anyone that you give the eyebrow immediately backs down and looks away. They don't make eye contact with you. But you were eventually led into just kind of like it almost looks like a pavilion. Some of these trees have been harvested in a way that allows for kind of like a wooded wall area. And as soon as you pass through like the gates of it, it looks like this is kind of a staging area. There's racks of equipment, a couple of cots where there's some healers tending to or wounded, things like that. A couple blacksmiths off in the corner sharpening some of the tools and being used here, preparing more equipment, trying to furnish these people. And you also see this little gnomish woman, long white hair, kind of tied up into a messy grandma bun, as she's kind of shouting out, "All right, get the new wounded back over into that corner over there. We need to make sure that we're about to get more coming from the battle once Loki gets back with the force." And she turns around and sees, "Oh, Loki, you're back." Loki, you recognize this to be Tree Speaker Nyrade, by the way.
Tree speaker.
My champion. Oh, and she sees like the few survivors coming in. I take it was a bad day.
Yes.
Right. We'll tend to the survivor. And she stops like mid-sentence and she looks at your group. Tyler, give me an insight check real quick.
Ooh.
$17. You clock it pretty easily. Her eyes linger on you a little longer than the rest of the people in the group. As she just kind of looks at each one of you. Loki, it appears you brought a couple of strays with you. Care to explain?
Yes. They were on the way here. They need to have business with the rebel group that's up here. They just want to speak to them. That's all.
I see. Well, I'm not sure what Loki has told you, but if you're looking for a rebel group, I guess that's us. Who do I have the pleasure of addressing today?
We're the wolf pack.
The Wolf Pack. That doesn't mean a lot to me.
Oh, we're working with the
representing
rebellion.
the voiceless.
Yeah.
The Voiceless. I don't know who that is either. Are these groups? I'm guessing the Voiceless is some kind of group that you're representing.
Yeah, we're trying to take down the Empire.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're getting in on the game that we've been trying to do for a couple hundred years now. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Can I get your names just so
Awesome.
we know who I'm dealing with? Because again, Wolfpack didn't really mean a lot. I just want to make sure I'm understanding who we've brought into our home. And she shoots a dagger like look over at you, Loki, for like half a second, and then it's just like, oh, I'll let it slide a little bit.
Awesome. Nothing like gatekeeping rebellion lady.
Look, I've been doing this for 300 years. I'm just trying to make sure we don't end up dead again. Because we've had some highs and lows, and no offense, human, but your kind don't exactly take well to being brought into our group and then, letting your other human friends in, and then suddenly we're being ambushed in the night. So, no offense.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, can I get your names just so I know that you're at least honest people?
Tyler Redfire.
Taylor Redfire.
Thin Storm Raven.
Tez of the Tall Stone.
She kind of, as you guys say all your names, none of you have to roll a check for this. As soon as she heard the name Tyler Redfire, she didn't hear the rest of the names after that. She heard Taylor Redfire. Let me rephrase that. She didn't hear any of your names after that, as her eyes honed in on Tyler again.
Can I help you?
Damn it. Come with me. You need to meet the Fury.
Okay.
Loki, you know for a fact that this is like the first time something like this has ever happened. Nobody meets the Fury of the Forest. But she leads you a little farther into the circle, and then almost through this like passage of trees and foliage that it's almost like a self-enclosing tunnel. And then you slowly see it dips down just a little bit, dipping into the ground. There's now cool dirt underneath you. The temperature down here also changes a little bit. It had been kind of a balmy afternoon. It's now nice and cool. And then you see a little bit more light ahead of you, and it opens into this massive tree clearing. A literal ring of powerful, powerful redwood oaks. And seated in the middle of this ring, currently just what looks to be in a meditation state. Tyler, I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Will do.
You
Nat 4.
You almost go catatonic. And it's partially through some of the strength you've been gathering on your journey, and partially through your brother being right next to you and catching you as you like falter a little bit as you see the face on this figure, because both of you kind of, your breath stops in your lungs a little bit because you see the face of your mother.
I don't even know what to say. I have like so many emotions going on. I'm just like staring.
The tree speaker stands to the side of you guys a little bit. Ilrin, we have guests, if you would please. The name Ilrin, by the way, is unfamiliar to you. This woman opens her eyes, and she has the same shade of eyes that your mother had. The same eyes that looked at you as you watched her expire that fateful night. And you see her eyes land on you, Tyler, and then land on you, Taylor. And you see not a bit of recognition.
Oh shit.
Ew.
This woman stands up, kind of dusts off her leggings a little bit. Hello. My name is Ilrin Silver. How can I help you?
I just kind of look over at my brother, and then look back. I'm just kind of like looking back and forth. Like, are you seeing this shit?
I'm going to roll this on the board. She's going to make, as she's picking up on this a little bit, she's going to make an insight check. Okay. She sees the back and forth and kind of studies you both a little bit. And then has the flash of recognition a little bit. Not as powerful as you're expecting, though. Oh. Oh. You're them.
Them?
Oh no.
That's
You don't know who I am, do you?
I thought we did.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Oh, this has to be painful for both of you. I'm so sorry. My name is Ilrin. I'm your mother's sister. And that is where we're going to leave off for the night.
Ooh.
Oh, snap.
Oh shit.
Okay, and on that note, I'm going to end the recording here. So thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you next time.